Bob Mills Weather Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Lacey Swope.
That looks like so much fun. They had 10,000 people last weekend, Lace. Again, it's JurassicQuest.com if you need tickets.
Everyone loves their dinosaurs. It's not just Caleb.
No, oh yeah, and I think we need to think of a name for Caleb, like a
Brontosaurus?
Yes.
about as tall as a Brontosaurus. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
that long
I just love that he compared the cows in Oklahoma to the dinosaurs. That reference I still can't get over.
You learn something new every day.
We laughed in the studio, and he says we have a lot of cows, but not dinosaurs here.
We love
Caleb.
Too many.
Guys, we have storm chances that are going up later today. The severe threat is increasing. Our team of meteorologists, of course, will be here in the building, and we will continue to have our storm trackers out in the field updating you. Right now, all is quiet, but that severe threat does go up about 4 or 5 o'clock in the southwest. Right now, look at the snow ongoing out in the Rockies. This is a potent storm system that's swinging out. First thing you're going to notice is the wind. Now through midday, winds gusting 30-35 out of the southeast. Meanwhile, the cold front is surging in while the dry line also moves in from the west. And just heads up for folks in western Oklahoma, your winds behind the front today, not within the thunderstorms, will gust 45, 50, as high as 60 miles per hour. And of course, the storms themselves will also pose a wind threat. Currently on our Pike Pass Sky Cam live from American Fidelity, it's 58 degrees. The cloud cover's moving in. That's the Gulf moisture. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. You're in the 40s in the northwest, much cooler behind the front, and the dry line is now approaching southwestern Oklahoma. And this whole thing continues to kind of slide off towards the southeast through the day. Winds are currently gusting 25, 35 out of the southeast, and we'll warm today into the 60s, 70s, and maybe even the 80s behind the dry line in southwestern Oklahoma. So very mild for your St. Patrick's Day. With the moisture coming in, a few showers possible in northwestern Oklahoma this afternoon, and then the storms start to form. Now, they'll try to develop in this zone in southwestern Oklahoma, kind of isolated in nature at first, posing a wind, a hail threat, and then form more of a broken line as they approach central Oklahoma. And this is where the ingredients are coming together as far as the wind shear, the low-level winds. We're talking also about the Gulf moisture, more plentiful in this area, for these storms to kick up their heels and become severe. And that's going to start about 7. I think the window for the metro is between about 6, 7 o'clock through about 10. We'll have to watch just how quickly these storms develop. Once they move on by, the severe threat will be over, and it presses further to the east and will continue with rain chances overnight. Cold rain, though, and that will continue into the early morning hours of your Friday with snow ongoing in the northwest. That's the way it looks. As far as these storms rotating, we look at this especially in the spring, and these storms sometimes can really start to spin, and I think some of these will. That doesn't mean they'll produce a tornado, but that's why they have to be monitored closely. The winds are favorable for these storms to rotate, and sometimes what that can do is mean larger hail, and I think the largest hail will be in south central Oklahoma. Between 5 and 11, it's a low risk for severe weather. The tornado threat is more into central and south central Oklahoma and down into Texas. That's where, again, the low-level winds are a little more favorable for these to spin tighter and faster, and that brief tornado would be possible. That's why our trackers are key. This will be close to sunset and then into the overnight, out of the dark hours, I should say. Overnight, after midnight, the threat really goes away, but our trackers will be monitoring that very closely for you. Quarter-size hail possible up to golf balls down to the south for the zone in orange. Not every storm produces golf ball size hail, but we're unstable enough for that. And I think even up into northern Oklahoma, you could have some hail well behind the cold front late this evening. Winds anywhere from 45 to 55. Where you see the green, that's where we could have up to 65 mile per hour winds within the storms. Rain chances there are going up. I think those storms fire and they move into central Oklahoma, and we get the wraparound overnight tonight with some snow mixing in the northwest. And that continues into the early morning hours, and then by lunchtime, this is all out of here, picking up a 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch of rain. Many areas to the north will pick up over an inch of moisture. And as far as snow, this is not a winter storm, but I do think there's a couple of areas that it's hard to say exactly where those bullseyes will be. Make it an inch of snow, but temperatures will be right around freezing or just above, so it will be slush. It'll melt quickly. 39 in Oklahoma City tonight, and then tomorrow, guys, highs in the 40s and 50s, much cooler. Gorgeous for your weekend, and a soaking rain on the way Monday and Tuesday of next week. Back to you.